Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and in addition to some hot fixes that have been going out over the past few hours, including ones that nerfed the item level of the Trial of the Elements and Trial of the Flood rewards, they're still good. I think they can still go up to like 378 or something, but they don't go to like 385 anymore, is what I've heard at least. There are also some class balance changes that have been announced, so I figured I'd make this video. Don't know exactly, might come out tomorrow morning I guess, but make this video and we would go over what these class balancing changes are. So first of all, tank specialized characters, and by the way, these changes will not be live until the weekly reset, until the Tuesday or the Wednesday. Tank characters now generate 650% additional threat, was 550%, so 15% increase to tank threat generation, which should help on-pull burst in dungeon content, ripping threat other characters. Definitely something that I've noticed being a problem. I've been using AoE taunt abilities on pull, or big damage cooldowns on pull to mitigate that in a few spots, but like literally Warrior AoE taunt and Paladin AoE bubble taunt have been mandatory against some specs that have been bursting for me. That being said, I think this will still probably be a problem under some circumstances. You'll still need to use a lot of tools to handle on-pull threat from some specs, because some specs just do so much damage on pull, and I think the solution for this for tanks is often going to mean, I mean, for some specs it's going to be pain, you know, ask your DPS to chill, and that's really bad and means that that's a big liability for those specs, but for other tank specs it's just like, have stuff like Divine Toll, Wings, Challenging Shout, etc. on pull. Okay, Demon Hunter, we have a nerf here to the Hunt, and also to Fodder to the Flame. Its proc rate no longer scaling with haste, and hunt damage reduced by 10%. I haven't seen too much about how much Demon Hunters are... Like, I don't know what percent single target nerf this is to them, but I suspect it's not too bad again. So I suspect, again, Demon Hunters should be pretty happy about this, because if I was Demon Hunter, I'd be living in fear every day of waking up to a wall of text about my class, and every day that doesn't happen is a good day. So I think there's a reasonably small set of changes to Demon Hunter, perhaps even enough. Resto Druid, we've got a nerf to regrowth healing, but again, pretty small nerf to a pretty small part of their kit. Hunter, we have a nerf to steel trap damage, but then we have buffs to explosive shot, barrage, 10% buff to all MM damage, buff to heavy ammo, and also a buff to survival by 5% as well. I don't know if this is enough to make MM and survival good, but it definitely makes them better. It definitely makes it less bad to be playing them, which is good, because those specs I think really did need something like this. Still unclear to me if this is enough to bring them into like, oh, I actively want to play these specs over, say, BM, but definitely a good sign of changes there. We've got some Fire Mage buffs here. Fire Mage, my understanding was that the damage that Fire was putting out was fairly behind both Frost and Arcane. And here we are seeing substantial buffs here, especially like the AoE that they'll be able to do now, I think is going to be a little bit more competitive. I'm still not sure it's better than Frost or Arcane for M+, and I still think it's probably also worse than those specs in Raid, but I don't know. Not sure. It's, Fire Mage is always one where it's like, you think it's going to be bad, you think it's going to be bad, you think its damage is worse than the other specs, and then everybody still plays it in Raid anyways, because, you know, Cauterize, Scorch mobility, and damage when the boss is low, so we'll see. See how that works out. Here's a huge change to Assassination. Exsanguinate's cooldown has been quadrupled to 3 minutes, and the bleed effect magnitude has been reduced by 20% down to 80%. Developer note here says, recent data indicates this is drastically overperforming its historic and intended power level. We recognize this heavy nerf, but it's important that its power be similar to alternative available talent choices, and my understanding is it is still worth talenting this after this massive nerf. We see this as a temporary measure, and we will reconsider Exsanguinate's position and role as an available talent for Assassination. We may move, replace, or redesign it in a future patch. So, nerf to Assassination Rogue coming in there. We have a buff to Brewmaster. Brewmaster is now getting 45% increased stamina from their passive. It was 30%, so a nice little buff to the health pool of Brewmaster, which is going to help mitigate one of their weaknesses, which was against magic damage-based tank busters. Magic damage-based, just heavy damage in general. They now have a little bit more effective health against and can potentially survive and stabilize off of. They are still going to be potentially a tank that requires some more healing relative to some of the other tanks, but this could be big for Brew. We have some buffs here to Mistweaver. We have buffs to Awaken Feline kicks, Vivify, Peaceful Mending, and also Yu'lon's Whisper is now only healing 5 targets, down from 6, but its healing's been increased, which I think this is good. Definitely good for M+. So, we'll see how that works out. Paladin. Aegis of Light now provides 50% increased stamina from 45. That's their passive, I think. Actually, I'm logged into a prop Paladin right now. I'm pretty sure we can just check. Aegis of Light. Aegis of Light. Where's that thing? Oh, passives are further down. Right, okay. Passives are... Aegis of Light. Okay, there it is. Yeah. All right. Whew. This is going to be very embarrassing if I don't edit out the last 30 minutes or 30 seconds of this video. Yeah, okay, so they are buffing that passive to 50% increased stamina and 30% increased armor, which is a small stamina buff, but a pretty large armor buff, which means incoming physical damage should be a little bit easier for Prop Paladin to deal with, which is big for Prop Paladin, because that was the hard part for that spec, so cool. Definitely big news for the Prop Pally stonks. Resto Shaman, 5% healing spell increase and a 50% acid rain buff. I don't know if this is enough for that spec, but I do think this was the right direction to be moving that spec, so I like to see it. This is a big nerf here. Soul Leech is now only going to convert 3% of damage dealt to an absorb shield, was 6%, so Soul Leech has been cut in half. Warlock remains extremely strong defensively, I believe, even after this, but this... Yeah, I think this was warranted. We haven't rated it at all yet, but I suspect they are still going to be just fine and still going to be extremely tanky. Finally, we're seeing a Fueled by Violence buff to 65% from... or to 85% from 65%. This was you heal for, now 85% of the damage done by your deep wounds. For Prot Warrior, this was on a choice node against Brutal Vitality, which has been cut in half here. Brutal Vitality was the pick on that node before. I'm not sure if this changes that. I'm not sure how far ahead it was of Fueled by Violence, but this does, I'm pretty sure, represent a Prot Warrior nerf and a slight Arms Warrior buff to self-healing, which, yeah. Actually, I don't even know if they talented Fueled by Violence, so maybe it's neutral, but either way. Those are the changes that are coming to the PvE side of the game that are coming on December 6th. There are also some PvP tuning changes that are coming in here, quite a lot of them. You can feel free to read through those, but I will not be reading through those on this because I do not know enough about PvP to even give the cursory takes that I give to the PvE class balance changes as we read through those. So, hope you enjoyed this video. See what's coming there. Again, the tank threat change. All of these changes I think are moving things in the right direction. I'm not sure if they move these specs enough in the right directions. None of them I'm too worried about moving things too far to the other side, at least, which is always a worry with balance changes. So, yeah, seems like a fairly good set of tuning changes, and curious to see what more is coming down the road, or if we're going to be... this is the last Tuesday reset before the raid opens, right? The next Tuesday reset will be the one where the raid opens. Now, they could still schedule tuning changes for that one, and there's a good chance they will do at least some for that, but I'm not sure what the size of that tuning pass is going to be, the December 13th tuning pass. We'll see. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.